Man, I tell you what, man. My last video, a lot of stuff got misconstrued about what I said about my divorce being crazy. Now, I want to reiterate on that for everybody because there was some comments in my videos about, divorce and this. Okay, my divorce was not crazy. My divorce was actually really simple. It was easy. It was 50-50 custody. My ex-wife signed. I signed. We both have 50-50 custody and 50-50 parental, agreement, right? So, what had happened was she got married to this guy, and he lived in Colorado. She was trying to take my kid to Colorado, right? And my son didn't want to go. And I had told her, I said, you can't take him from me like that. She's trying to tell me, like, I'm not taking him from you. I said, what do you call taking my kid from a state to another 2 states? Yeah. What is that? That's not taking him from me. And she couldn't grasp this. Well, you can see him whenever you want. How the hell am I going to see my kid every other weekend when he's in college? Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just reiterating that it was my custody battle that went to crap. It wasn't my divorce. It was my custody battle. And, my wife now, like, we weren't married yet, but we fought and dude, it was like 6.5 years of just being dragged through the mud from the state of Texas. I mean, you go in there, bro, and it's like you're not even a father, bro. You are a criminal, and you have to prove yourself as to why you can see your kid. You are guilty until proven innocent in family court.
Unfortunately, that's how they see man. Man always has the disadvantage when it comes to like stuff like that.
Yeah. Even if you're a good father, bro, even if you're a good father, good dad, it don't matter. And the repercussion, and you know what? I look at it as the reason why us millennial dads are suffering so much is because of Gen X dads. Our dads. Our dads were crap. They didn't care about the kids. The 90s divorce rate was out the roof of Gen X. It was like 60% divorce rate, whatever, because men were dogs. And so now, because the court system was like in the early 2000s, well, okay, let's try to fix this. So they decided to hammer down on all this shit. And then who feels the repercussion of that? We do.
Yeah. Because
now the court system thinks these fathers that were crap, that didn't care, that never paid child support, that got away with it, never went to jail, never did. My dad, dude, my dad didn't pay child support at all until bad stuff happened. I moved back with my mom. And my mom had told my dad, the minute that, you do this, blah, blah, to Tony, I'm going to get you. And so that stuff happened. That's whenever my mom, went to the state of Texas and just like, she hammered my dad. She, like, bad, But the thing is, I was still, 17 at the time. I knew nothing of life. I knew nothing of what was going on. I knew nothing of what my mother was doing. All I knew was, I was growing up in a bad area as a teenager over in Colorado with my dad, and I needed to get out. Like, I lived it for 3 years, and then it finally clicked. I needed to get out of that environment, because if I don't, I'm never going to be able to live my dream of being a Marine, of what I want to do, because I was going down the wrong path. I had a dad. I didn't have a father. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, he was Disneyland dad. He would, he bought me a car. He was like, hey, man, here's $100 for the week for gas. And then he was gone. And to this day, I've never heard an apology from him. The last time I talked to him, bro, was like 2007. 2007 or 2008. I can't remember. Like, I really can't remember. It was like right whenever my divorce was happening. And I couldn't remember if I was in the Marine Corps or out of the Marine Corps the last time I talked to him on the phone. When he was like, what's going on? And I know he was still in the Marines at the time. And he's like, what's going on, blah, blah. And I told him, I was like, yeah, this happened, blah, blah. And she's asking this. And he's like, yeah, that's what they do. All they want is money. And this and this, because, my mom and my dad had went through that stuff. And my mom, did all that to him. So he was, instead of him being supportive and saying, okay, this is how we can get through this. Look, this is what I did whenever me and your mom went through it. Instead of being a father to me, he was like being my best bud. Well, I told you that's all they want. They always want money. They don't care about this. You know what I'm saying?
Similar thing with my parents actually happened when I was 12. My parents, I think it was 12, 13, around that time. We lived here in Irvine, actually, and my parents had split up. You know, they had this huge fight. They would always fight, and then they would break up. We would move out, and then it would break up. And it was like, you know, for me and my sister growing up with them, it was just kind of chaotic all the time, moving back and forth. And it was bad. You know, childhood was kind of shitty. But when it came to like when I was like 12 years old, they split up. They had this huge fight, and then my dad, you know, he had grabbed me. He was like, "Hey, you're coming with me." Like boys with boys, girls with girls. My sister was with my mom. Like, you know, I was like,
yeah,
man, I went through hell living with my dad. Like, seriously, sometimes I would not eat. Sometimes I wouldn't have the place to stay. You know, it was just, he was always drinking, doing this, and that. Like you said, my dad too is like, sometimes we'll have a hotel or an apartment, and he would leave me alone for like a week or two, like me not knowing if he's going to come back or not, you know?
Yeah.
Drive money for food.
Yeah.
I'm just, you know, it was like every day it was just, you know, actually me and him got in a fist fight one time when I was a kid.
Oh,
where I would like hide his money. Sometimes I would go in his wallet and take, you know, $50, $100, you know, here, and I would just, you know, hide it from him because he would spend, and then we wouldn't have money to do anything.
Yeah.
There was one time he wanted me to give him the money. It's like, I know you have my money, blah, blah, blah. He was drunk, blah, blah. Oh, he punched me. Me being like, what, 12, 13 years old. And we're in the rain because our car broke down in Juarez, Mexico, whatever. And he swung at me, boom, hit me in the face. My first reaction was just to hit him back, boom.
What? Dang, for real? You clocked him.
I got him. He fucking fell in the rain, got wet, you know, got all wet. And then he was chasing me after that. And I locked myself in my car, and he started trying to bang the window off. You know what I mean? Like, that's the shit I went through with my dad growing up.
Dang.
That's why I don't like to, you know, talk to him all the time. Even if he calls me, you know, like,
right,
stupid. So eventually,
at least he calls you.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't mean bad, but
of course,
he's still. So
does he ever apologize for that?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Like sincere, you know, say, hey, you know, Mike, I'm really sorry for what I did when you were little.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to forget all that stuff.
Oh no, for sure, I agree, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, you can't forget, of course. I agree with you 100%.
You know, socialize with him like my sister does. My sister actually does talk to him more than I do.
Yeah.
I don't. I just lost respect for him.
Right.
For a lot of things. So I lost contact with my sister for a while. And my dad dropped me off at one of my uncle's house in Chihuahua, whatever. And so happens that my sister just randomly called, boom, like, hey, have y'all seen Mike? You know, we haven't heard from him, and, you know, whatever. So, oh, yeah, he's right here, you know, boom. Talk to my sister, oh, how you been? I haven't heard from her in like years, you know, whatever. My mom, and she's like, well, you doing good? I'm like, well, no, I don't know where my dad's at. You know, he just dropped me off here. We're going to go pick you up. I'm like,
yeah, you're excited, right?
Yeah,
see, that's the way I was, man. That's exactly how I was.
So I moved back with my sister, and I was happy. And then, I mean, everything was better after that, but
same.
Going through with my dad, no, man, it was hell.
Yeah. Dude, I understand totally, man. And, you know, what's the really, like, shitty part about all this is I still talk to all his sisters, which are my aunts. They're all on my Facebook.
Yeah.
And I see them all the time posting pictures of him. Happy birthday. Like, his birthday just passed on the 21st of June. And, you know, I saw a recent picture of him. You know, of course, he's older. He doesn't look like what I remember, but he still looks the same, you know. But I just sit there and think about this. Like, I could never, ever do that to my son. Like, my son is the same age right now, about to be 17, as I was when I left my dad. So there's no excuse about my dad saying, you don't know what if me and him were ever to talk again, there's no excuse of him saying, well, you don't know what it felt. Yes, I do. Because I've already went through divorce. I have my own kid. He's about to be 17. I've been a father for as long as you have, and I'm your age. The day that I left you, my dad, I think he was like 38 or 39 whenever I left, and I was 17, and I'm 38. So there's just no way he can ever tell me you don't know what it was like. Yes, I do. But the difference is I fought for my kid, and my ex-wife was not going to take him from me, regardless of what she said. Oh, I'm not taking him from me. You're taking him to another state. And I flipped it around on her one time. I said, okay, cool. Give me the keys to your car. I'm going to leave it at my house. I'm not taking your car away from you, but you have to figure out how to get to work. But I'm not taking your car away from you. What are you talking about? I'm just putting it over there.
Yeah.
You know, and she looked at me like I was stupid. I'm like, do you get what I'm saying there? Like, you're taking my kid from me.
She's gonna bring him over here like every time that, I had to visit,
Right.
That's a hassle. I mean, it's not like you're going to get on a plane every other week,
Oh, dude. And that's not even the cold part. So when we were going through all this stuff, right? So about 3 years into it, I had started doing more research because these lawyers, dude, they don't care about you.
No.
All they care about making money, and all they care about is prolonging whatever fight you're doing.
They win, it looks good on them too. So
Exactly. Well, in family court, they're on their winners. That's why they draw it out so long, and then they're like, okay, we both come to an agreement. Now, about 3 years into this, I pulled my ex-wife aside, and I told her, I said, do you realize your lawyer doesn't give two shits about you? My lawyer doesn't give two shits about me. They're working together for me and you to fight while they take our money.